Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to County Court at Law number 6 in the Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court. I'm Wayne Christian. Today is our motion to revoke docket. Currently on our docket are cause 658-932 and 658-933, State of Texas versus Ronaldo Hernandez, represented by Mr. Ronaldo Arguelles. Cause number 645-927, State of Texas versus Melanie Lopez, represented by Mr. Adam LaHood. Cause number 613-177, Edwin Giron, represented by Mr. Michael White. Cause number 636-978, State of Texas versus Raylyn Campos, represented by Mr. Matthew Finch. Cause number 464-167, State of Texas versus Israel Rodriguez, represented by Mr. Daniel Rodriguez. Cause number 656-814, State of Texas versus Nicholas Rios, represented by Mr. Fernando Trevino. Cause number 654-482, State of Texas versus Julian Sendejas, represented by Mr. Brian Kimbrough. Representing the state are Mr. Guillermo Flores and Ms. Megan Galloway. As Assistant Criminal District Attorneys representing the Bexar County CSCD is Ms. Susan Gross, who I will swear at this time. Ms. Gross, please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. I guess we'll start with Melanie Lopez. Mr. LaHood, are you ready to proceed on this Lopez case?
We are ready, Your Honor.
Fair enough. This is cause 645-927, State of Texas versus Melanie Lopez. And this is a motion to revoke community supervision. Ms. Lopez and Mr. LaHood, the first two documents I need you to identify your signatures on is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference. Ms. Lopez, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. LaHood, as attorney for Ms. Lopez, is this your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. The next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has the right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, not the underlying conviction, unquote. Is this your signature on this document also, Ms. Lopez?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. LaHood, as attorney for Ms. Lopez, is this also your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. LaHood, my understanding is this is an uncontested motion to revoke community supervision. Is that accurate?
We have, excuse me, Joe, sorry. My apologies.
No problem.
There is a recommendation by the state judge, but not seeking to have a contested hearing.
Okay. So all I need to know, let's see. Ms. Lopez, in cause 645-927 to the motion to revoke community supervision, how do you plead, ma'am?
True.
And normally I go true with an explanation or not true with an explanation, whichever way I'd like to go.
I think she's muted, Judge.
You're muted.
Sorry, true.
She said true, Judge. I don't know if you heard that.
I got that. Thank you. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Ms. Lopez's probation, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Lopez has been reporting as directed. We last saw her on August 2nd of 2021. Her case is paid in full. She has not completed any of her 36 hours of community service, nor has she completed DWI education, victim impact panel, or the CAT-SNP programs. She's had one negative drug test, and she's had 2 positives for alcohol on the Smart Start mobile device
Morning, Your Honor.
at 0.019
Crystal
and
Cepeda,
0.027.
Case number,
Excuse me, you need to mute
six
yourself.
four five one six.
Okay, everybody, if you're not actually talking to us at this time, please mute your microphone and then we'll have you turn it back on when we're talking to you. Thank you so much. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
She's on Smart Start mobile testing 4 times a day and had 2 high bracs of 0.019 and 0.027. She has no criminal history, and her officer is recommending that her Smart Start mobile device be increased to 6 times per day and that she shows substantial compliance within 30 days.
And Ms. Lopez, how long have you been in jail this time, ma'am?
Since the 30th.
Today is what, the 9th?
It's about 10 days, Judge.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 11 days. Okay. Mr. LaHood, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, we're asking, begging the court to continue her. We kind of had the, for lack of a better word, come to Jesus meeting, and I think it's sunk in just how serious the trouble that she could be in with all this. She's been very proactive in terms of the fees and fines. No doubt she's going to get the classes. It's just a matter of registering and making the time to do the community service hours. But as far as I know, I think she's paid up in full on all her fees, fines, and I think she's motivated to complete probation. I've made it absolutely clear, not a sip of alcohol or anything moving forward, with the exception of maybe communion at church on Sunday. But Judge, we are begging the court to continue on probation and not to revoke, and to continue with the recommendations, Judge.
State recommendation.
Your Honor, the state is recommending that the defendant be continued. We recommend that she be increased to 6 times per day on Smart Start Mobile, weekly UAs for 3 weeks, and register for all courses within 30 days of today's hearing.
Ms. Lopez, in cause 645-927, the court accepts your plea of true on the motion to revoke community supervision. I deny the state's motion to revoke your probation. Or you continued on probation with all prior requirements with a sanction of 30 days, Bexar County Jail, credit for time served, judgment satisfied. Amending your conditions and modifying your Smart Start Mobile from 4 blows a day to 6 blows a day. If you show us a clean 30-day period of time at 6 blows a day without missing any blows and no high brax for alcohol, we'll crank you back down to 4 blows a day. Adam, I won't know she's done that. So if she's done that, she got to let you know she's done it. You let me know, I'll confirm with probation, and we'll crank her back down to 4. I'm
Yes, sir.
adding weekly UAs with the understanding if she shows us 4 clean weekly UAs in a row, I'll put her back on monthly UAs. Once again, I won't know she's done that. She's got to let your Mr. LaHood know. He lets me know. I confirm with Ms. Gross. And then substantial compliance, and I'm going to say substantial compliance within 10 days, which just means I need her to be registered for any courses she hadn't been registered for. She may not start them in 10 days, but at least she'll be registered for everything that she needs to be registered for and know what's coming. Anybody got any questions?
Judge, if I may give my instructions?
Sure, this is great. Please do.
All right, Ms. Lopez, you will be receiving an email from your officer with your amended conditions. You will need to sign those. You need to call your officer as soon as you get out so that she can give you your new blow times. Okay? If you fail to do either one of those 2 steps, you're going to be right back here. Okay? Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you.
All right. Good luck, Ms. Lopez. Thank you, Mr. LaHood. Y'all are dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr.
Have a good day.
Hernandez, there is a blue button that says join. You need to hit that. Your attorney is waiting in a breakout room for you.
Are we ready on Israel Rodriguez?
I don't think so, Your Honor.
I'm ready, Your Honor.
Is Daniel with us, the attorney?
I'm here,
Okay.
Your Honor.
I got you. All right, this is cause 464167. State of Texas versus Israel Rodriguez. This is a motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Representing Mr. Israel Rodriguez is Mr. Daniel Rodriguez, as previously referenced. Representing the state assistant criminal district attorneys Guillermo Flores and Megan Galloway. Representing the Bexar County CSCD is Ms. Susan Gross, who I remind is still under oath. 2 documents I need both Mr. Rodriguez to identify their signatures on. The first one is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference. Mr. Israel Rodriguez, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your
Thank
Honor.
you. And Mr. Daniel Rodriguez, as attorney for Mr. Israel Rodriguez, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. The next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is an adjudication of guilt following a deferred adjudication, and the defendant has a limited right of appeal, unquote. Is this your signature on this document, Mr. Israel Rodriguez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And also attorney, Mr. Daniel Rodriguez, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Daniel Rodriguez, my understanding is this is an uncontested motion to adjudicate. Is that correct?
No, Your Honor. I thought it was, but it turns out it's not going to be.
All right, we have 2 options going here. One is what we call a full-blown contested motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. And what that normally entails is they probably will call or the actual probation officer that Mr. Israel Rodriguez had during the term of his probation. Otherwise, Ms. Gross is going to be the only one that testifies, and she may be the only one that testifies at that. The other option is he can plead not true to the allegations he wants to plead not true to, or true with an explanation, or not true with an explanation, and come to me as the trier of fact to determine whether or not I think they're true or not. So those are your options. What would you like to do?
Well, Your Honor, I was wanting to see if we could just push this off for like until next week. I spoke with Guillermo Flores, the ADA. There is he had wanted to speak with the prosecutor in the 175th about Mr. Rodriguez's other case, where I'm trying to get a similar deal in this case. Mr. Guillermo Flores is not ready to do that, and he wanted to speak with Raul Jordan, ADA Raul Jordan, before making any decision. So I was hoping we could push this case to tomorrow or Monday, see if we can have a resolution then before heading into a fully blown contested hearing.
My understanding of the law, limited as it may be after doing this for 18 years, it doesn't really matter what deal you make with the state, other than if they withdraw the MTR, which I would be shocked and amazed if you were able to do that, but good for you. Because otherwise no one else has any discretion to make any decisions on this case but me. Do you agree?
I agree with that, Your Honor, but sometimes the judges will take both parties. If both parties have an agreement, they will take that into consideration. And so that's what I was hoping we could come forward together with.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Guillermo, go ahead.
Yes, Judge, just for the record, Judge, so the defendant has another MTR in the 175th District Court. Both charges, Judge, both offenses have the same offense date. So what I did, I sent an email to ADA Jordan just to, because I want to see what they're planning to do, because they have the same offense date, Judge. And as of right now, I haven't received a response from ADA Jordan. But yes, Judge, I understand that this is in the court's discretion, and but I just want to give you some context, Judge.
All right, let's back up just a second. What is the felony that Mr. Rodriguez is on probation for?
It was a felony evading arrest, and I believe it was pled down to a misdemeanor evading arrest.
Okay, well, with regard to a contested hearing, I don't really see that as a problem. It looks like the major allegation against Mr. Israel Rodriguez is he stopped reporting plus or minus 2016. Does that sound right?
That is the allegation, Your Honor.
Okay, well, unless you got an alien abduction going or something, I don't know how he's going to get around that, but more power to you if you've got an angle. Susan, do we know where the original probation officer for Mr. Rodriguez, Israel Rodriguez, is at this time?
Yes, she is in the office. I am trying to contact her right now. As a matter of fact, she is typing a response as we speak. So give me just a few seconds, please.
All right.
And Your Honor, the other issue I have is I'm currently in Gillespie District Court right now. I have 2 felony cases that I'm being called in front of the court this morning, just waiting to be called. I've also got a protective order hearing today in civil court. So if we do have a contested hearing, I was hoping we could also do a contested hearing next week.
Let's see what Ms. Gross comes up with regard to the witness.
Okay, I'm not prepared to go forward right now, Your Honor. I'm in district court. I'm standing outside district court.
All right, well, here's
I
how
have two felony cases right now that I need to get in front of the court on.
Mr. Daniel Rodriguez, how long have you been on this case?
About 2 weeks, I think. 2 or 3 weeks.
And you knew what your schedule was going to be coming up, and you knew that you had conflicts on this case, and then you didn't mention them to anybody or put in a motion for continuance?
I guess so, Your Honor. Yes.
Well, I'll be happy to talk to any of your felony judges that are mad at you because you're late, because I'm requiring you to be here, but this needs to be resolved if it can possibly be so. We've had since 2016 to get it figured out from the defense side, it would seem to me.
I've not been his attorney since 2016.
Yeah, you've only been his attorney for 2 weeks, which is still plenty. I mean, it's pretty simple. Either he reported or he didn't, I guess, unless you've got some other idea.
Can I have a breakout room with my client, Your Honor?
Sure.
Okay.
Judge, she is available. She's pulling up the case right now to review it. Pat, can you send her the Zoom link?
Hold on, please.
Sure.
Let me get him into a breakout room with his client. I don't know who it is. Susan, can you just give her the ID and the code number?
Yes, I can do that.
That's all she needs.
Okay, let's put that Mr. Rodriguez off to the side for a minute. Mr. Trevino, you ready to proceed on Mr. Rios?
Not yet, Judge.
Okay.
I just filed my notice to retain counsel last night.
Are you requesting a continuance? Is that what you're basically doing?
Yeah, Judge, I need a continuance. I need to read and I need to establish something about the restitution, some other stuff. I got to look at it, but I haven't had enough time to look at it, Judge.
Next Thursday at 10 o'clock, that'll be Wednesday. Next Wednesday at 10 o'clock work for you?
That'll work.
All right, let's do that. Pat, is that okay?
Thank you.
If you don't mind, Your Honor, going over your limit.
No, I don't mind.
Okay.
Oh, one other thing, Judge.
Sure.
I noticed that one of the violations was not having the remote access monitor.
Yeah, normally
the
that means
Smart
they were
Start-
late getting it or something. I don't know what it means in this case.
But Judge, he's had the ignition interlock on his vehicle. I guess we just need to switch it out to the one you like.
I'm not real familiar with this case, but my guess is somewhere in there, I ordered him to go on a Smart Start mobile instead of an ignition interlock. And he didn't do that, but I don't know that for a fact. I'm guessing.
Yeah, because I mean, he's had the ignition interlock. I don't know that information was relayed to him when he got placed on probation recently.
That certainly sounds like mitigation, but it's not really a defense.
Right.
Okay, but why don't we redo this at 10 o'clock next Wednesday, which is the 15th. Will that work, Fernando?
That will work, Judge. But what I'm asking for is for you to have an order to remove the ignition interlock so we can put the Smart Start mobile.
Well, let's go ahead and do the hearing and see where this goes first. He may get revoked and he won't need either one. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not that familiar with it till you clarify the defense side and the state clarifies the state side for me.
Okay.
So we'll see you guys next Wednesday at 10 a.m. And Pat, will it be the same sign-in numbers, do we think, or do we don't know?
Your Honor, it depends on if I have an interpreter. I will send him the information and the link.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Fernando. You and Mr. Rios are dismissed for today, and we'll see you next week.
Can I chat with Ms. Gross, please? The CLO?
Well, she's kind of in the middle of getting set up for this other hearing.
Okay,
Yes.
forget it.
You
That's
got to
right.
wait to get up with her, and she's very available. I'll be happy to give you her cell number if you need it.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Mr. Kimbrough, you ready to proceed on Mr. Sendejas?
Yes, I am.
Clause number 654482, State of Texas versus Julian Sendejas. And this is a motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. I have two documents from Mr. Sendejas and you, Mr. Kimbrough, to identify your signatures on. The first one is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference. Mr. Sendejas, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Kimbrough, as attorney for Mr. Sendejas, is also your signature on this document.
It is.
Thank you. Next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is an adjudication of guilt following a deferred adjudication and the defendant has a limited right of appeal, unquote. Is this your signature on this document also, Mr. Sendejas?
Yes, Your Honor.
And as attorney for Mr. Sendejas, Mr. Kimbrough, is also your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
My understanding, Mr. Kimbrough, is this is an uncontested motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Is that correct?
Yeah, I did not confer on it with the DA, so I don't know their position. On past history, I just came to the court. He's not contesting it. It's going to plead true.
Fair enough. Thank you, sir. Mr. Sendejas, in clause 654482 on the motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, how do you plead, sir?
True.
Thank you. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Sendejas' probation?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sendejas has been reporting as directed. He has paid $200 towards his fees, has a balance of $1,189 and is delinquent $176.12. He has not completed any of the 48 hours of community service. He's had 2 negative drug tests. We have no proof of enrollment or completion of DWI education, victim impact panel, or the CAT-SNP programs. He's currently testing on Smart Start at 4 times a day, and he has had 8 skips. He has no criminal history, and the officer is recommending that his Smart Start mobile be increased to 6 times per day for a period of 60 days, and that he be enrolled in all programs within 7 days.
And what are you requesting, Mr. Kimbrough?
Your Honor, Mr. Sendejas has been able to complete all of his classes except the CAT-SNP, which he can provide proof of that to his probation officer this week.
Okay.
We're asking the court to follow the recommendation. He's had sleep issues. All of his, or almost all of his misses were, 3 o'clock in the morning because he was sleeping through them, and we've solved that problem. So he will not miss any more, and he will complete his probation. So we're asking the court to follow that recommendation.
Okay, state recommendation.
Your Honor, the state is recommending that the defendant be continued on probation. We do agree with probation's recommendation of increasing testing to 6 times per day until he is able to provide the 1 month of compliance to you, Judge Christian. And we are going to request that he at least register for the class that he has not completed within 10 days of today's hearing.
And Mr. Kimbrough, you're telling me Mr. Sendejas is active in the outpatient drug program, the Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program. He hadn't finished it, but he's gone to some classes already.
That's correct. He's either finished or he's participating in all programs.
Hey, Mr. Sendejas, how many classes have you gone to at CAT-SNP?
I've gone to 4.
Wonderful. All good.
The
Okay.
only one is that one.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Sendejas, in cause 6544482, the court accepts your plea of true on the motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. I deny the state's motion to revoke your deferred adjudication probation, or to continue on deferred adjudication probation with all prior requirements and no sanction at this time. Although I have the authority to put you in jail for 30 days to get your attention. Will that be necessary?
No.
Oh, good answer, sir. Altering and amending your conditions, modifying your Smart Start mobile from 4 blows a day to 6 blows a day within 24 hours, with the understanding that once you show me a 30-day period of time without missing any blows and no high bracs for alcohol, I'll crank you back down to 4 blows a day. I won't know you've done that. You got to let your lawyer know that. He'll let me know. I'll confirm with probation, and we'll get you reset back down to 4. I'm putting you on weekly UAs. If you show me 4 clean weeks of UAs, I'll put you back on monthly UAs. And then substantial compliance in all other areas. And I think you're actually doing that. Basically, anything he hasn't registered for or hasn't done yet, he needs to get registered for within 10 days. He may not start it, but it looks to me like CAT-SNP's the last thing he really needs to do. Susan, does that sound right?
Judge, I don't have proof of DWI ed or victim impact panel being completed.
You'll get your proof of those. Isn't that right, Mr. Kimbrough?
That's correct.
And he's behind on monies, and he just needs to catch up on money. So all that, let's say substantial compliance in all of the areas within 30 days, and he's done 90% of that probably at this time. Anything further from the state of the defense of Mr. Sendejas?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Good luck, Mr. Sendejas. Thank you, Mr. Kimbrough. Y'all are dismissed.
Thank you,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Sendejas,
Yes.
you'll be receiving an email from your officer with your amended conditions. You need to sign those and return them. Your officer will also be in contact with you to let you know what your new blow times are going to be, okay? You can call your officer now and let him know that you had your MTR hearing this morning and that your blows are to be increased, and he may do it right there over the phone for you, okay?
Okay.
All right, do you have any questions, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, sir. And Judge, I need about 2 minutes to talk to the officer on the phone, please.
Go ahead. We're on a 2-minute break. Well, I'm signing Mr.
Honor,
Hernandez paperwork.
yes, please, if you'll sign those.
Okay, Pat, those two are signed.
Thank you, Your Honor. As soon as I get them, I will forward them.
Pat,
Done.
can I speak with Mr. Rodriguez real quick?
In the breakout room, sure.
Yes, thank you.
You want help? Once.
Is going to 3. Okay. Go into 3.
None.
Rolando, the judge is just printing up your paperwork and you should be next, okay? You doing okay?
Doing good. I'm here in person in Kendall County, so judge is waiting
Wow,
on
that's
me.
crazy.
Mhm.
All right, well, as long as you're doing good.
Yeah, surviving.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
No. Not here, no. Actually, I wasn't on probation in California either, no. I just did. No.
Okay, Mr. White, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with Mr. Gudon so that you can talk to him, and please have him sign the MTR paperwork.
Good, I'll go there. You're sending me to a breakout room?
Yes, I sure am. Just hold
Okay.
on so I can find out exactly which one I'm going to put you in, okay?
Okay,
Go into
Pat, Vicky
Fine.
Rodriguez will be coming in.
who?
Vicky Rodriguez.
Okay, all right. That's fine.
Okay.
I'll let her in, but let me,
room 5?
hold on. Yeah, room 5.
Oh,
Okay, both of them are in there. All right.
I'm short on this. We're just waiting on the judge. I see. Okay.
Is there anyone there I can talk to? Is there a coordinator?
Yes, of course. What do you need?
Yes, I need to talk to the prosecution on this case. This is Edwin
Okay.
Byron.
Okay. Mr. Flores, can I put you in
You
or?
can send me, Pat. Send me.
Okay, I'll send you in. Let me put you, okay. Can you go back to 4?
Okay.
No, not you, Mr. White.
Yeah, I can. I can.
I'll put Mr. White in 4 with you. Okay, there you go.
Okay, thank you.
Am I good staying in here?
Excuse me, hold on. Excuse me?
My name is Israel Rodriguez.
Yes, you need to stay in here. I'm sure
Okay.
you're fine.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. You're fine.
Ms. Gross, if you can hear me, come back on. Oh, there she is.
Judge, good morning. I apologize. I'm late. I see Ms. Campos here for me this morning.
Not a problem.
I've seen the court summary. I've seen the copy of the MTR. I've communicated with my client. There's a recommendation. I don't know if I need to confer with anybody, Judge.
That would be up to you. If you want to chat with Ms. Campos in a breakout room, I'm sure Pat can arrange that, and or we may have an extra DA. We have 2 DAs now, so normally one's available to talk and the other one sits here and works. Let's wait till we get everybody back in just a second. Susan, can you hear me? Can you come back on?
I'm here.
All right. Back on the record on cause 464167, State of Texas versus Israel Rodriguez. Mr. Daniel Rodriguez, Mr. Israel Rodriguez, attorney. Apparently, Ms. Gross has the original probation officer available on your case.
Okay. Your Honor, I've conferred with Mr. Israel Rodriguez in a breakout room, and he is wanting to take responsibility for the violations.
Fair enough. Back on the record on cause 464167. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did we not already go through all this with regard to the signatures on the documents?
That is correct.
All right, so we're good on that. And you originally indicated, Mr. Daniel Rodriguez, this was going to be a contested motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Then you went out and conferred with your client, and you still request a contested motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision.
Okay, he just left Zoom, Your Honor. I don't know what happened.
I guess we'll all stand by and see if he comes back.
Yes, he's come back, Your Honor. Hold on. I'm admitting him now.
Okay, Mr. Daniel
I
Rodriguez.
got knocked. I'm sorry. I was knocked off, Your Honor. No, we are not requesting a contested hearing at this point.
All right, not a problem. Mr. Israel Rodriguez in cause 464167 on the motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. How do you plead, sir?
Guilty.
True. It would be true, Israel.
Court accepts the plea of true with an explanation. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Israel Rodriguez probation?
1 second, Your Honor.
Once again, on the record, representing the state, Assistant Criminal District Attorneys Guillermo Flores and Megan Galloway, and representing the Bexar County CSCD is Ms. Susan Gross, who our minds is still under oath.
Sorry, I was conferring with the other officer, Your Honor, who will be signing on in just a moment, and her name will also be Aramis Parker.
All right, we're not going to need her. We just need you. If you please advise us what the status of the probation is.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Rodriguez has performed very poorly on probation in that he missed his last 5 months of reporting. He paid $478 towards his fees. He has a balance of $661. And the case is expired as of November 9th, 2017. He did complete 12.62 hours of his 48 hours of community service, as well as DWI education and victim impact panel. But we have no proof of enrollment or completion of the Palmer drug abuse program. He was on Smart Start Mobile testing 2 times per day. He had 3 skips and 2 high bracs registering at 0.057 and 0.024. His criminal history includes an evading arrest, which he is currently on probation for in the 175th District Court. His original fine was $850, and his probation officer is recommending that his probation be terminated unsat if he pays in full, otherwise revocation.
And Mr. Daniel Rodriguez, what are you requesting, sir?
Your Honor, I'd ask that you please follow the probation officer's recommendation of terminating Mr. Israel Rodriguez unsat. So long as he pays the fines, which he has the money to do so today. If you cannot do that, Your Honor, then perhaps a 30-day or a 45-day jail sentence on this case.
State recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. Following the recommendation from the felony ADA in the 175th District Court and probation's recommendation, Judge, the state in this case recommends to terminate unsatisfactory if the defendant pays 100% of the fees, otherwise revocation, Judge.
Mr. Israel Rodriguez in cause 464167, the court accepts your plea of true on the motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. I grant the state's motion in order that your deferred adjudication probation be revoked, that you be found guilty of the offense of obstruction of a highway. I sentence you to 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, assess a $2,000 fine plus court costs, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent. This case will run concurrent with the felony case. Anybody have the felony case number?
I do not have that handy, Your Honor.
We'll put it on the official order. We'll find out by then. And Mr. Rodriguez, Israel Rodriguez, is to report to the Bexar County Jail at 9:00 a.m. on Monday, September 13th, 2021 to serve his sentence. Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Israel Rodriguez?
Your Honor.
Good luck,
Yes,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Good luck, Mr. Israel Rodriguez. Thank you, Mr. Daniel.
Your Honor.
Yeah.
Mr. Israel.
Is there any way that I could do weekends? I have a mortgage payment and I recently got diagnosed with the overactive thyroid disease and I take a bunch of medicines. I see a psychiatrist once a month. Is there any way that you can consider me doing weekends?
Mr. Israel Rodriguez, feel free to have your attorney put in writing a letter stating what your concerns are. I have 30 days jurisdiction on this case to make a change in some capacity. I think probably a bigger issue is going to be whatever the felony judge does on the other case.
Yes, sir.
But, with regard to that, I'll be happy to look at whatever you got. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
In the meantime,
I'll
you need to
take care of
report. In the meantime, you need to report Monday morning, which is the 13th of September at 9 a.m. to the Bear County Jail. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Israel Rodriguez?
Judge,
No,
I
no.
have that felony case number for you.
Oh, great. Shoot.
It's gonna be 2015 CR 3677.
2016, C is in Charlie, R is in Romeo, 3677.
No, 2015.
Oh, sorry. 2015 CR 3677.
Yes, sir, that is correct.
The sentence in case 464167 will run CC with 2015 CR 3677. All right, y'all are
Thank you.
dismissed. Thank you for your help.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
You bet.
Judge, this is Mike White. Could I get a breakout room with my client,
Sure,
Edwin Gyron?
sure. Pat, we'll do the magic.
Yes, hold it. Hold a minute.
Mr. Finch, are you ready to proceed on this compost case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, this is cause 363978, State of Texas versus Rayland Compost. This is a first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Representing Ms. Compost is Mr. Matthew Finch. Representing the state is Mr. Guillermo Flores and Ms. Megan Galloway as assistant criminal district attorneys. Representing the Bear County CSCD is Ms. Susan Gross, who our mind is still under oath. Ms. Campos and Mr. Finch, I have two documents for you to identify your signatures on. The first is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference. In fact, Ms. Campos, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Mr. Finch, as attorney for Ms. Campos, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. The next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked as an adjudication of guilt following a deferred adjudication, and the defendant has a limited right of appeal. Is this your signature on this document also, Ms. Campos?
Yes, Judge.
And Mr. Finch, as attorney for Ms. Campos, is also your signature on this document.
Yes, Judge.
And for the record, administratively, Pat, my document does not have my signature date on it for whatever reason, so it needs to be put in as September 9th, 2021.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Finch, my understanding is this is going to be an uncontested motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge. We're going to plead true.
Ms. Campos, in cause 636978 on the first amended motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision, how do you plead, ma'am?
True.
Thank you. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Ms. Campos' probation?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Campos performed poorly on probation in that she only reported 2 times. We last saw her on May 17th of 2021. She has paid $296 towards her fees. She has a balance of $835, and she is delinquent $442. We have no proof of completion of any of her 36 hours of community service. She has had 2 negative drug tests. She failed to show up for a 3rd drug test. She is not enrolled in or completed her stress class. She has no prior criminal history. This is her first violation, first MTR. The officer is recommending that she be placed on weekly drug testing and that she be enrolled in the stress class within 10 days.
And Mr. Finch, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, on behalf of my client, I was able to speak to her yesterday for a period of time. My client, this is her first time in getting in trouble. She is the first time on probation. Apparently, there's been some communication issues. She's had several different probation officers. In fact, whenever I mentioned the name on the court report that I read to her, the Teresa Minus, she didn't even know who that was. She did meet with a woman named Crystal Hernandez last Wednesday. Judge, she understands. She's willing to enroll in that stress management program within 10 days. She's willing to submit to weekly UAs. She could provide a UA today if it was ordered. She does have a job. She was having some difficulties with that when the probation started, but she's working at a hotel now. Judge, I would ask that you follow the recommendations of probation to get her so that she can become compliant. I'd also ask that you consider not adjudicating her guilty to allow her to continue to be successful in this probation. The probation term does not expire until March of next year, so there will be plenty of time for her to do that. But in light of the probation shuffling and just the difficulties with communication, everything being remotely due to COVID, I would ask that you consider denying the state's MTR and modifying, amending her conditions to order that she enroll on the stress management class within 10 days and do the UAs. In addition, Your Honor, while she's on bond, she is on a GPS monitor, and I'm not aware of any violations on that. So we would also ask that you consider removing that since when she gets back on the probation after today. Also, regarding the balances, Judge, she is working. She could pay the delinquent amount. It's been updated, I guess, but she could pay that in the very near future to get current on that. And she understands the importance of paying that. So I'd ask that you give that consideration, Judge, and give her a break and show a little leniency and allow her to continue the deferred so that she can finish out this probation strong.
Mr. Finch, why did she miss 90 days of reporting?
Judge, I think part of it is the communication of figuring out who to try to communicate with and who to show up and all that stuff. I've experienced that a lot with the different clients, but she did report last Wednesday with Ms. Hernandez.
In reference to that, the defendants are sent a text message every time before they are due to report, telling them who they're to report to and their phone number, and there was no contact from the defendant.
And Susan, what was the original fine on this case, if you know?
$400, Your Honor.
State recommendation?
Your Honor, the state agrees with probation's recommendation.
Ms. Campos, in cause 636-978, the court accepts your plea of true. I grant the state's motion to enter adjudication of guilt and enter adjudication of guilt. I find you guilty of the offense of interference with an emergency telephone call. Is that a class A, I'm guessing?
Let me look, Judge.
It's a class A, Your Honor.
Okay. I sentence you to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 6 months, a $400 fine plus court costs. All the same programs you were previously given, which I guess is going to include, Susan, you probably have a list of those.
Yes, Your Honor. It would be the stress class.
APSD, yeah.
And the 36 hours of community service.
And that was all?
Yes, Your Honor.
Not a no contact order or anything?
Hang on. Okay. Yes, it was an individual no contact order with a Kayleen, Kayleen, Gonzalez with an S.
Okay. 1 year in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 6 months, a $400 fine plus court costs, APSE course. And I guess she has not done the APSE course yet, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And 36 hours of community service, which apparently she hasn't done yet either. No contact with Kayleen Gonzalez. I'm going to give you a sanction of 30 days in jail instead of the 1 year in jail that you could have gotten. Starting on Monday, you report to Bexar County Jail at 9 a.m. on Monday, 9/13/2021 to serve your 30 days. And while you're there thinking about serving your 30 days, I want you to think about the other 11 months your attorney saved you from having to serve. You got to report. Anything further from the state? She gets credit for anything done or any money's paid. Anything further from the state or the defense on Ms. Campos?
Judge, I'd ask that you consider some sort of house arrest or some alternative besides going to the Bexar County Jail for my client. This is her first time in trouble, and given the difficulties communicating again, I would just emphasize that. It
I'd
seems a little.
say there's a lot of trouble in communicating, but I think most of it comes from Miss Campos. That's the problem.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Finch, feel free to send me a letter or an email, however you want to do that, with any kind of mitigation to support your request, and I'll be happy to look at it. I've got 30 days jurisdiction on this case, is my understanding.
Judge, may I have you put in a breakout room with my client?
Sure.
After once we're done. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, ready on Rolando Arguellos?
I'm present, Judge. We're ready.
I've got clause 658-932 and 658-933. State of Texas versus Rolando Hernandez, represented by Mr. Rolando Arguellos, once again representing the state. Assistant Criminal District Attorneys Guillermo Flores and Megan Galloway, representing the Bexar County CSED, is Ms. Susan Gross, who our mind is still under oath. Mr. Rolando Hernandez in clause 658-932 and 658-933. I've actually got 4 documents for you to identify your signatures on for me, if you would. The first one is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference, and there's one for clause 658-932 and one for clause 658-933. In fact, is this your signature on both these documents, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Mr. Rolando Arguellos, as attorney for Mr. Rolando Hernandez, are these your signatures on these 2 documents also, sir?
They are, Your Honor, but just to clarify for the record, my client's name is Ronaldo, not Rolando, just to clarify.
It's Romaldo, Romaldo.
Yeah, just for clarification, Judge.
What does the information say on Mr. Hernandez's name? Do we know?
I do not, Judge. I was appointed for the motion to revoke, not for the original offense.
Okay.
Your Honor, the information is correct. It's Ronaldo A. Hernandez Jr.
Yeah, and it's
Your
Romaldo.
Okay. R is in Romeo, O is in Oscar, M is in Mike, A is in Alpha, L is in Lima, D is in Delta, O is in Oscar. Romaldo, is that correct, Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, sir, that is correct. Romaldo. Correct.
I will have the clerks change it, Your Honor.
All right. Is the information say Romaldo correctly?
Your Honor, the information is Ronaldo, so RON.
See, and that's the way I have it.
State, would you like to make a motion to correct the information spelling? I don't think the defense is going to object.
No objection, Judge.
State, do you move to correct the spelling on the information to the correct ROMALDO instead of RONALDO?
Yes, Judge. The state moves to correct that information.
Right. That will be granted. And then for purposes of our MTR hearing, Pat, if you would administratively correct all the paperwork to reflect the correct spelling of Mr. Hernandez's first name, ROMALDO, not
Yes.
Rolando. And we'll
Yes,
get
Your Honor.
very good. Defense, will that work for you?
That works for me, Judge. Thank
All
you.
right. So I think we were back on identifying signatures. The Mr. Arguellos, is this your signature on each of these defendant's consent motion to revoke hearing by video conference documents, one for each case?
Yeah, it is, Your Honor.
Thank you. The next document I'm looking at, Mr. Hernandez, is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked as a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has the right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. And I have 2 documents for you on this, Mr. Hernandez, one in clause 658-932 and one in clause 658-933. Are these your signatures on each of these documents, sir?
Yes, they are, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Arguellos, as attorney for Mr. Hernandez, is this your
Yes, sir.
signature on each of these 2 documents entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, one for each case?
They are, Your Honor.
Thank you. Starting with clause 658-932, my understanding is this is an uncontested motion to revoke community supervision. Is that correct, Mr. Arguellos?
That's correct, Judge.
All right. Mr. Hernandez, in clause 658-932, on the motion to revoke community supervision, how do you plead, sir?
True.
Thank you. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Hernandez's probation in clause 658-932?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Hernandez has performed very poorly on probation in that he went to intake, he signed his conditions of probation, and then he never reported. We did not see him until he was in custody on the motion to revoke in jail on August 24th of 2021. He's made no effort to make any payments. He has a balance of $548 and he is delinquent $232. There's been no effort made to do any of his community service hours and owes 24. We have no proof of enrollment or completion of the stress class. And his criminal history includes arrests for the following offenses: driving while intoxicated, second offense, possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram, possession of marijuana 0 to 2, burglary of a vehicle, theft 100 to 750, possession of marijuana 0 to 2 ounces, possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram, criminal mischief 750 to 2500, possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram, assault, bodily injury, criminal trespass on private property, possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram, and then the assault, bodily injury, and the terroristic threat, which he is on probation for out of this court that we are addressing today. His officer is recommending that he provide proof of employment within 15 days and that he start the stress class within 10 days upon his release from jail.
And Mr. Arguelles, what are you requesting, sir?
Your Honor, we are requesting that the court follow the recommendation from probation. I spoke to my client and he would be willing to adhere to the recommendation that was recommended by them. I believe Mr. Flores and I also did speak about amending some of the conditions and adding a little bit more time to keep him on the community supervision, as well as even agreeing to an ankle monitor if the court deems necessary to have him released.
And Ms. Gross, confirm for me, basically, he stopped reporting in June, is that correct? Or did you start reporting again somewhere in there?
No, Judge, he never reported. The only
okay.
way that we were able to see him was when he was taken into custody on the MTR warrants. Then we went and saw him in jail via Zoom.
I got you. State recommendation on 658-932 for Mr. Hernandez.
Yes, Your Honor, the state agrees with probation's recommendation, Your Honor. In addition to that, we asked the court to extend probation for at least 3 additional months. And also, Judge, we recommend partial tracking GPS for the first 30 days or so.
And what was the fine amount on Mr. Hernandez, Susan?
On this case, Your Honor, it was $200.
Mr. Hernandez, in clause 658-932, the court accepts your plea of true. I grant the state's motion to revoke your probation. I sentence you to, I guess this is a 1-year one, isn't it?
Yes.
1 year in the Bexar County Jail, a $200 fine plus court cost, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent. This case to run concurrent with 658-933. Anything further from the state or the defense of Mr. Hernandez in 658-932?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. May I be placed in the breakout room with my client?
We got one more case to go. Do you want to do that first, or you want to go in the breakout room now?
Or are we going to just run it concurrent with this case?
That's correct.
Okay, then yeah,
Okay.
afterwards.
Mr. Hernandez, in clause 658-933. This is also a motion to revoke community supervision. How do you plead on this case, sir?
True.
Thank you. Ms. Gross, any variation on the performance on 658-932 and 658-933?
Judge, the only difference in this case is that he has a balance of $848 and is delinquent $232, no payments, and he did have a $200 fine on this case as well.
Defense request?
That you run it concurrent with the other case, Judge.
Thank you. State recommendation?
Same from the state, Judge. Same recommendation.
Thank you. Mr. Hernandez, in clause 658-933, the court accepts your plea of true. I grant the state's motion to revoke your probation. I sentence you to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. It says a $200 fine plus court cost, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent. This case to run concurrent with 658-932. Here's Mr. Hernandez has 50 days credit on each of these cases, so that will assist in his situation. Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Hernandez?
A quick question for clarification, Judge.
Sure.
Does the judge order the 2-for-1 in this case for the county time, or is
I
that solely?
don't have authority to do that. It's whatever the sheriff's doing, and it varies. I think under COVID, I think that's exactly what he's doing. At the very least, he's doing that.
Okay.
And on a perfect day, it's 3-for-1 is my understanding. So I don't know, you're welcome to call over there and talk to the sheriff or whoever is making that decision. They can probably far better educate you on what that is today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Judge, I just have one more thing. I believe that the terroristic threat case might be a Class B misdemeanor.
Which terroristic threat? Oh, one of these is a terroristic threat?
The 3-3, Judge.
658-933.
Uh-huh. I think all terroristic threats are 1 year, are they not?
Your Honor, that's only the family violence.
Well, it doesn't matter to me. What the state, are you telling me for sure it's a Class B? Is that what you're saying?
We would need to check, Your Honor. That was my understanding, but I do know that the family violence one's Class A for sure. But from what I recall, it might be a Class B.
Well, I think we all agree a standard terroristic threat misdemeanor is a Class A. Now, a terroristic threat causing fear may be a different animal. I'm not sure. Mr. Arguelles, do you have any information on that?
I'm looking at it, Judge.
Judge,
Because
I looked it up
Mhm.
in Mocha, and Mocha has it listed as a Class B.
Class B? All right.
Yes.
Back on the record on 658-933, court made an error. Instead of sentencing Mr. Hernandez in 658-933 to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail, it's going to be 6 months in the Bexar County Jail. Credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, $200 fine plus court costs, and the run concurrent was 658-932. Okay, thank you for correcting me. Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Hernandez and 658-933?
No, Your Honor.
All right, good luck, Mr. Hernandez. Thank you, Mr. Arguelles.
You all want to go into a breakout room, correct?
Yes, Judge. Yes, Ms. Pat.
That's okay. All right, let me move Mr. Hernandez. There you go.
Judge, this is Mike White. I'm ready on our case.
We need the paperwork signed. Has he signed the paperwork?
No, he's not, there's no plea bargain.
The documents we need is a defendant's consent to motion to revoke hearing by video conference and a trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal.
That's right. I don't think you've signed it, and I don't think he has signed it.
No. So you'll send those?
It's been sent to you, Mr. White, about 8 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
Let's take a break and let you go look for it. Will that work?
Yes.
All right, we're on a break. Mr. Finch, you got something else?
Well, Judge, I conferred with my client in the breakout room, and Judge, just if we need to revisit it, we can. My client has a diagnosis that she has a low white blood cell count and could create some difficulties, and she's not vaccinated. And I don't know if we needed to formally put that on the record or if I needed to file a motion to address that. I just have some concerns about the jail sanction on her particular case.
Does she not have until Monday to get a shot? Oh, you have to get 2 shots, I guess, 2 weeks apart or something.
Or if doctor's advice suggests that she not get it because of her compromised immune system to begin with, Judge, that unfortunately we're dealing with those kind of medical issues these days. And I don't know if you would consider house arrest, a GPS monitor. She's on the monitor now, Judge, and been compliant. She's still in the breakout room, by the way.
Okay. Well, in my mind, she deserved to be totally revoked and put in jail for 6 months. But I was kind and gentle and decided I would just get her attention and let her sit in jail for 30 days instead of that full time so that she could understand that she did bad things, no matter how good her lawyer is.
Well, I regardless of what happens today, Judge, I know she's aware of how she screwed up and the significance of what's going on. But
well, do me a favor and send me either an email or letter or something in writing that shows what her medical problems are. And a letter from a doctor would be really helpful. Now, obviously, it's Thursday before Friday, before a weekend. She's report on Monday. But, at the very least, if you can get me a doctor letter or something, I'll pay more attention to that than anything else, I'm sure.
Okay, Judge. So just a basic email. Can I email Pat and ask her to forward it to you? So
Yeah,
I don't.
Of course.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, Judge. I'll do that. I'm gonna go back to the breakout room then.
You're a great lawyer, but you can't change the facts. That's the problem.
Sometimes not good enough, Judge. Thanks. I'll be right back.
All right.
Judge,
Yep.
I was reviewing the Texas Penal Code, section 22.0782. That's the terroristic threat section. That's a class B, but it's a class A if it's a family violence or if the threat is against a public servant. So
Okay, so it's clear that the one we're dealing with is a class B, not a class A. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks for finding that out. I've never seen that charge before, terroristic threat causing fear, but I'm.
Oh, no, we're seeing that more and more, Your Honor.
You can come off of YouTube for now if you would.
Yes, Your Honor.